Hello everyone. Today we'll explore the War of Currents, a battle where light itself became the weapon. This was not merely a battle between two inventors. It was a struggle for control over the future. On one side stood Thomas Edison, the symbol of practicality, of inventions that could be touched, measured, and sold. On the other was Nikola Tesla, the man who envisioned an entire world powered by energy that existed first only in his mind. The great question of the time, which would also define the 20th century, was alternating current or direct current. Who would light up humanity? At the end of the 19th century, when the world was still shrouded in the thick smoke of the Industrial Revolution, America became the land of electrified dreams. On streets still glimmering with oil lamps, people were talking about a strange new force, electricity, an invisible power that could make an entire city shine in the night. In New York, Thomas Edison had become the star of the era. The press hailed him as the Wizard of Menlo Park, the man who could turn darkness into light. But halfway across the world, in Europe, a young engineer named Nikola Tesla was obsessed with an idea the world called madness, alternating current. Edison was the embodiment of America itself, pragmatic, persistent, and relentless. He was not a born genius, but a man who simply never stopped. Before finding the perfect incandescent bulb, Edison had failed more than 200 times. Each time an experiment exploded, he calmly said, "I have not failed. I've just found another way that doesn't work." In 1879, after thousands of hours in his Menlo Park laboratory, Edison finally discovered a filament that could glow for dozens of hours, made from bamboo imported from Japan. It was not just an invention, it was the beginning of an entire era. Edison quickly built a complete direct current system, from generators and wires to switches and meters, turning electricity into a true commercial product. In 1882, the first power station in Manhattan, New York, officially began operation, lighting up hundreds of buildings. For the first time, people could work and live through both day and night. The world called it a miracle. But Tesla, still in Europe at the time, saw something unsettling within that miracle. In 1875, Tesla was still a technical student in Austria. When he first saw the Gramme generator, a device that converted rotation into electricity, he noticed a paradox. The current produced actually alternated direction continuously, so why did people force it to flow in only one direction? An idea flashed in his mind. If current were allowed to move naturally, alternating back and forth, it could be stronger, more flexible, and could travel much farther without dense power stations. But no one believed him. His professors dismissed him outright. Alternating current is too dangerous. Direct current is the future. Tesla's life soon took a turn. He left school due to financial hardship, worked at a telegraph company in Hungary, later moved to France, and eventually joined the European branch of Edison's company. There, he was the odd young engineer who spoke of things no one understood, machines that existed only in his imagination. But within him, the flame of alternating current burned on like an unfinished dream. One day, while walking through a park, Tesla stopped and looked up at the sky. In that moment, the image of a rotating magnetic field motor appeared vividly in his mind. Each shaft, each coil, each winding clearly visible. He could see how it would function, how efficient it would be, as if the machine were operating before his very eyes. "I don't need drawings or models. I can test everything in my mind," Tesla once said. From that moment, his journey changed forever. In 1884, Tesla arrived in New York City, the city of light. In his hand, he carried only a small suitcase, a few technical sketches, and a letter of recommendation that read, "The bearer of this letter is a genius. If you don't hire him, I will." Tesla went straight to Edison Machine Works. When they met, the two men were opposites, like fire and water. Edison was short, quick, talkative. Tesla was tall, thin, quiet, with distant eyes. But within days, Edison recognized the rare talent of this immigrant. Tesla fixed technical problems that had baffled veteran engineers for weeks. Edison assigned him to improve the arc lighting system. Tesla proposed switching to alternating current. Edison brushed him off. "Don't waste your time. AC only makes everything more dangerous." Edison's world was thick copper wires, dense power stations, and absolute control. Tesla's world was energy, free, flowing, and infinite. Two ideals, two visions, one wire, two currents. Edison once said, half joking, half serious, "If you can improve my system, I'll pay you $50,000. Tesla took him at his word. He worked tirelessly, recalculating the entire system, pushing its efficiency far beyond expectations. When it came to claim his reward, Edison laughed. "You don't understand our American sense of humor." For Tesla, it was his first wound. He left Edison's company with nothing in his pockets, starting from zero. In the months that followed, he dug ditches, labored as a common worker, even helped bury the dead, just to survive. But through those long nights, he never stopped thinking about alternating current, the light he believed would change all of humanity. In 1887, Tesla established his own laboratory in Manhattan. A year later, he was granted 7 patents for his alternating current motors and transformers. At one of his lectures, Tesla demonstrated the principle of the rotating magnetic field before hundreds of engineers. In that audience sat George Westinghouse, a renowned industrialist, the inventor of the air brake for trains. Westinghouse immediately saw the future. He offered to purchase all of Tesla's patents for $60,000, plus $2.50 per kilowatt of electricity sold, a massive sum at the time. From that moment, Tesla and Westinghouse became allies, a dreamer and a risk-taker. Together, they began building the first alternating current network. Electricity now traveled miles without losing power. People began to believe that this was truly the technology of the future. But for Edison, it was a matter of survival. He had poured millions into his direct current system. If AC won, everything he had built would collapse. Edison struck back. No one understood media like Edison. He launched a massive propaganda campaign, what we would today call an information war. Public demonstrations were staged where animals were electrocuted with alternating current. Newspapers filled with stories and illustrations warning of AC's deadly danger. Posters plastered on city walls screamed, "Don't let alternating current kill you." In 1903, at a New York amusement park, a circus elephant named Topsy was executed with 6,600 volts of alternating current. The horrific scene was filmed by Edison's company and widely distributed. It was the peak of the propaganda war. Alternating current became associated with death. When the New York authorities sought a more humane method of execution, Edison immediately suggested, "Use alternating current." His goal was clear, to make AC the symbol of death. In August 1890, the murderer William Kemmler became the first person executed by electric chair. But instead of dying instantly, his body convulsed violently and caught fire. A witness later said, "Using an axe would have been more humane." Edison's campaign of fear had succeeded. Society turned against alternating current. Tesla and Westinghouse were nearly bankrupt. In 1893, the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, the grand celebration of the 400th anniversary of Columbus's voyage, opened bids for the largest lighting project in history. General Electric, backed by Edison, proposed a direct current system costing $554,000. Westinghouse and Tesla submitted an alternating current proposal costing half as much, yet far more efficient. The committee chose Tesla's plan. On opening night, over 100,000 light bulbs glowed simultaneously, turning Chicago into the City of Light. That was the moment Tesla triumphed over Edison, and the world officially entered the age of alternating current. 2 years later, Tesla and Westinghouse built the Niagara Falls hydroelectric power plant, the largest engineering project in the world at the time. In 1895, electricity from Niagara was transmitted 40 kilometers to Buffalo with astonishing efficiency. Of the 12 patents used in the project, 9 bore Tesla's name. From then on, alternating current became the global standard. The war of currents was over. Edison withdrew from the electricity business, turning instead to sound recording, motion pictures, and eventually founding the first film studio in history. Tesla continued to dream of wireless energy, power through the air, a global transmission system. But his life gradually sank into solitude and poverty. When we flip a switch today, no one thinks of Tesla or Edison. Yet every beam of light we see carries their legacy. Edison taught the world how to turn invention into industry. Tesla taught the world how to believe in what does not yet exist. One man built the foundation, the other opened the path. Neither truly lost. The world keeps reliving that war of currents in new forms, clean energy versus fossil fuels, electric cars versus gasoline engines, and now artificial intelligence versus the very humans who created it. But history always reminds us, progress does not belong to the one who is right, but to the one who dares. Edison lit the present. Tesla lit the future. And thanks to them, the darkness of humanity has diminished a little. Light does not belong to one man. It belongs to all who dare to believe that the world can be brighter